Good morning, everybody. Welcome to today's 1 Million by 1 Million Strategy Roundtable for Entrepreneurs. 1 Million by 1 Million is the only global virtual incubator in the world right now, and our mission is to help 1 million entrepreneurs reach $1 million in annual revenue and beyond, build $1 trillion in global GDP and 10 million jobs. And we are working diligently to help you as much as possible in your journey to be a successful entrepreneur. Everything we do is at 1mby1m.com, so you will find all the resources there. I'll go over all that in a bit. Let's first work with some entrepreneurs on their presentations and their strategies, and then we'll get to discussing 1M1M. This is our 215th free strategy roundtable. So we've been doing this for a long time. You know, thousands and thousands of people have been through this. The event is being recorded. You will have it available on our YouTube channel as well as on our blog. The Twitter account that there are two Twitter accounts that you could follow, at 1mby1m or my personal Twitter account, at Sramana. And we push a lot of very interesting, very, deep content, rich content through those channels. And today, if you're live tweeting the event, you're welcome to use hashtag 1M1M. Our YouTube channel is 1M1M Roundtables. You will find lots of recordings of previous roundtables here, and also there are other goodies like 1M1M FAQs and so on and so forth. These are the dial-in instructions. We will leave some time for you to dial in and to discuss things. I will put these instructions up again later in the program. So we're going to start with Kishore Bishwal from Hyderabad, I believe. Kishore, if you want to come and tell us what ECGing is, that would be great. We can't hear you very well.
Okay. It's okay now?
Yeah, it's better.
Okay. Hi, I'm Kishore, and I student exam, and it's a zero coding enterprise application development tool. And basically, what it does is it can be used to develop enterprise application without writing any code. So it has like the basic problem with enterprise application development was most of the applications have the similar code, like most of the forms. Every application will have logins and notifications, email notifications, SMS notifications, and several similar configurations. And the database interaction codes are always same. Validating the UI inputs, those are always same. So we came up with an tool where we capture the specification in a intuitive GUI where user defines the model. Then we using that model as input, we create the entire application, we generate the entire application code. So it uses Java and GWT. And when what happens in our application is if user gives an input and later he comes back and changes, the application will be regenerated. So all the required codes will be generated. He doesn't have to digit each classes and change it himself. So we address the problem of code, like manual writing code, where user spends most of time creating boilerplate code, which are same for all other applications.
Okay.
So in our application, we have a GUI, what we call, two parts we have. One part is to define the specification, and another part is to design the GUI. In the specification part, we captured all the models and the data types. We have defined some high-level data types like address, currency, and email. Those the validations and all are taken care of by the tool. user doesn't have to care about the validations and all. And once user enters the model, we generate Java code, corresponding Java code to get the application working. And the basic design for the application is also auto-generated, and there is a online web-based designer. Then the user can go to that designer and he opens the basic design that application has generated. Then he can align, customize the design like by just dragging and dropping the tools here and there. And even he can combine a rich application UI can be created, like the reports combining from multiple places, like different functionalities combined into a dashboard. So we support dashboards and reports, and we support many kinds of charts and GUI tools like what are available in JavaScript. We support all of them. And it's like it's mainly the tool is for developers. We have two targets. Like one, we can take the development work, and let's say there are some domain experts who knows the specification, who knows how to solve a business problem, but they lack technical knowledge. We take their specification and we develop the product for them. That's one strategy, one segment of our customers. And another segment is the software development firms who develop enterprise applications, and we want to give a license for our tool, so they can use our tool and build it faster. And it significantly reduces around 90% of the cost and time is reduced by using the tool. And we can using the tool, we can build an application as complex as an ERP. We have done validations also. Around 8 applications we have developed already, and we have for real users. There are the generated applications has the users now, and currently we are developing an ERP that will be similar to NetSuite or something like a big ERP like NetSuite.
So whatever you've done so far with your tool in terms of figuring out whether it works or not is on internal projects. You've developed a bunch of internal projects using the tool. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, a bunch of internal projects we did, but some of them has real customers. Like someone wanted, let's say, a function hall, a hospitality management company asked us a software. We call it function management. We have created for them, and currently that's not listed in the URL. I have given an URL here in the next slide. In that we have not listed. For construction management, heavy equipment rental, we have done a software using that tool, and that's not for us, not internal application. We have done for someone else.
But your tool has not been used by external people yet.
Yeah, not yet.
And that's something you want to do with by contacting some software development companies, like you say here in your city.
Yeah, because the first step was to show that tool works. So we developed we have around 8 to 10 applications already developed using that tool.
Okay.
So next is to finding the people who are in my city and going and showing the application demo to them.
And why does it have to be in your city? You could work with software developers anywhere, right?
Yeah, I can do it. Why I thought in the city is I'm not sure how easy to convince people to use a new tool, and that's we are from a startup. And
but he is in these days, so you just have to find the right people and talk to them and see who wants to test it out. You need to find a few, and I imagine it's not going to be so difficult to find people who wants to try it out, given what you're saying. You do. Now, what is the competition? Who else has this kind of a product?
This kind of products all big people have, like Salesforce has. Salesforce has a Force One platform. So the difference is one way they are better is they give a basic application. When we create an application in Salesforce, the base is CRM. So if someone wants to make an application that's not a CRM, they cannot do it in Salesforce. But if they want to use
just for specific stuff, whereas you're doing something more generic.
Yes, correct. And many people have done for mobile. No one has done for, less people has done for web applications.
Okay, mobile, yes, lots of DIY tools, DIY.
Yeah, but no one has done for this. And Zoho has one tool for this, but again, their UI is better, but we are more more flexible than, more controls we have, and we can create more robust application. But so development, in using Zoho Creator, the developer needs less technical knowledge, and here our tool is relatively complex because it brings the power of the tool.
Kishore, what is the company situation? Do you have a services company and you're doing this with services, bootstrapping the company, this product with services?
Yes, we are bootstrap.
Bootstrap, but you have a services business that's financing all this, right?
Sorry, can you repeat, please?
You have a services business that is financing all this?
Yes.
Okay. And how big is the company?
Company is around 20 people.
And how much money, how much revenue do you make?
We have got funding last year, chip fund. We got around in Indian rupees 1 crore, and we get revenues around 2 lakhs, 2.5 to 3 lakhs from development.
Per month or?
Yeah, per month.
I see. So, and the funding is from where?
Angel funding from one company.
Angel funding from whom?
Also someone from Gen Technology. He's from Gen Technology. He's an angel in Hyderabad.
And this is, what did you, when you got the angel funding, you pitched this product or you pitched the services business? What did you get the angel funding for?
We pitched the product only. Our objective is to make the product success, and the services is just like we want to support ourselves one way, and the other way it helps to validate the tool and justify the tool.
Sure, absolutely, no question. So good. Now I'm just trying to understand what are the vital statistics of the company and the situation. So then you have on the slide that we have on the screen right now, you're saying that you want advice on enterprise marketing and sales. What makes you say that enterprise is the right positioning for this product right now and not small business, small consulting companies?
Small companies, as I told, using the tool, it has potential to create as complex as an application as complex as CRM and ERP. So, financially we will not have any problem even if some small companies use and pay small money. But what we feel is it has the potential to serve bigger customers.
So what I would like to actually, my concern is that I'm not sure what are the limitations of your tool and what is the sweet spot of your tool. Okay. So if you go for enterprise marketing and try to go after ISVs who are developing software and the tool does not scale, that is not going to be so great.
Okay.
So, but basically what I would like to do is some positioning work with you and figuring out technically what is the best sweet spot for this, and then I can coach you on what is the go-to-market strategy around that.
Yeah. We are not even clear because to be honest, whatever the customers we have got now, is not unknown. Everyone who knew us has given us work. So not when any new person has not seen that.
Services work. They have not given you. They are not buying the product yet.
Yes, they have not bought the product yet. They have bought the byproduct.
Right. They've got something that you have developed for them using this software, but you haven't. They haven't yet bought your product. So there are there are several steps to cross here, and I think we need to figure out what would be the best way to cross those steps. But I like what you're doing, and I'm pretty sure I can figure out what you need to do. So so this gives me a good context. I think it's a high potential company actually.
And one more thing is like I intentionally made the slides less technical. I didn't know the audience, you know. So if you would like to, I can.
I'd like you to do so. That's fine. You can hang on for a bit. I'm going to talk about, and you may have been to these roundtables before, so you already know how 1M works. So what I would like you to do is to do some curriculum work, and then I want to get into the specifics of positioning. I want to get into the specifics of go-to-market strategy once you have that background.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
All right. The next person is Rahil Abdul Razak, dialing in from United Arab Emirates. Rahil, if you could unmute your line and tell us what you're doing. Are you there, Rahil? Rahil is not on the call yet, so okay. What's happening, Maureen? Are we? Okay, in that case, what we're going to do is skip over to a discussion that I promised to have on. You know, I'm writing a series right now, and those of you who follow the blog or my LinkedIn influencer writings, I'm writing a series right now on how to start unicorn companies, or what we have learned by talking to some of these companies that have come on to become very large billion-dollar exit companies. And what I'm doing there is kind of surveying what we learned from them earlier on in their history, about how they founded the company, what were the circumstances, what were some of the sweet spots of this company. So the first one, and in these roundtables, we'll take one of these companies and analyze what's going on with them, what has happened, what's really made the success possible. So the first one in that unicorn companies discussion series is Tableau software. And I'm going to spend a few minutes going over the basics, and then we're going to have a discussion on this. By the way, the article that I'm referring to is on your public chat. Maureen has put the URL, so if you want to take a look at it, you can click through and find the article right there. So if you look at what the situation is at Tableau right now, at the moment, they're public, and they're trading at a market cap of $3.5 billion. And as you probably know, that that NASDAQ is not doing so great right now. It's fallen quite a bit. Even so, it's a highly valued company. The two co-founders had founded a company before. The three co-founders, I think, had founded a company called Beeline before they started Tableau. And within 18 months of founding Beeline, they sold that company to Vicidity, which is a location services company, and they had some cash. And the founder, Christian Chabot, one of the founders, who is actually the CEO still, he had very deep insight into the issue of visualizing data. He had worked for a data analytics company, and through that, he had deep understanding of the problems with visualizing, you know, complex data. And really what he was trying to do was play with different visualizations and draw conclusions from those different visualizations, and he was not able to do that. All the visualization tools that he had access to, all they allowed him to do was to figure out what the answer was and then visualize it. So there was none of this kind of experimental visualization to find answers. It was more kind of you figure out what is the answer and then visualize it. So he turned the tables on that whole industry by making this whole visualization problem a lot more flexible and a lot more powerful. And for 2 years, the company did not have any outside financing. They went up to 200 customers and no investor involved. It was all their, whatever cash they had from their previous exit and customer organic growth, basically. And then they raised money 2 years into the business from New Enterprise Associates, which is one of the largest venture firms in the Valley. Actually, I raised money from them as well. And their Series A pre-money valuation was $20 million. And if you look at the average Series A pre-money valuation of the time, that was $5 million. So they were 4x above the industry average by following this strategy. And then eventually in 2013, May 2013, they went public and they raised $250 million at a $2 billion valuation. So it's a very interesting, very interesting case study. And the other interesting bit in this is that Christian talks a lot about, and you'll see when you read the article as well as the case study in depth, you will see he talks about what I call cross-domain innovation. Variety of different areas of computer science and brought them together. So there was graphics work, there was statistics work, there was like all kinds of different fields of mathematics and computer science that he brought together to come up with the solution. And he makes a comment that innovation comes from strange bedfellows. So this is actually something that I have observed in my, close to 20 years now in the technology industry, that when you mix up domains, people from expertise and thought processes from different domains, you come up with cocktails, technology cocktails, or product cocktails that are harder to replicate. It creates a barrier to entry. It creates a level of defensibility, market defensibility, that is much harder to combat, much harder to compete with. So keep that in mind as you are, thinking about your solutions, your product design, and so on and so forth, so that you can take advantage of that kind of innovation. So this is actually something, if any of you would like to call in and discuss anything or ask questions in the public chat, let me put up all our phone numbers here. Sorry, I have to skip through all this. Yeah, here we go. If you want to call in and discuss any of the things that I discussed about the Tableau case study, you're welcome to do that. You can also comment or participate in the public chat. Make sure you set your public chat to send to all participants. And then you can basically use public chat to participate as well. And if you'd like to call in, you're welcome to dial in 2650-479-3208, access code 663611184. And of course, you can also ask any other kinds of questions. It looks like we don't have Rahil on the line, even though we do have his slides. We do not have him on the phone, so that gives us more time right now to do Q&A. And I will also go over 1M in a moment. So I decided to do Q&A first. Anybody wants to discuss anything? Or you can also discuss whatever situation, whatever issue that you are struggling with in your business. That's fine too. I see a lot of people in the room. No? Nobody has any issues. Everybody is doing great. Okay, well, in that case, what I'm going to do is go over 1M, 1M first and give you some time to ponder if you want to discuss anything. Let me see, there's something in public chat. And, you know, we'll come back to Q&A in a little bit. Rahil is still trying to call in. Okay, we'll let Rahil try to call in, and we'll cover other ground in the meantime. So, folks, if you like what we do here, and some of you have been here before, some of you have listened to the roundtable recordings and so forth, we basically do a certain amount of coaching, you know, and these are sessions where we do some amount of coaching. In the premium program, we do a lot more. Please refer serious entrepreneurs to 1M, 1M, because our mission can only be accomplished if we can, you know, identify serious entrepreneurs with whom this kind of investment is worthwhile. Because entrepreneurship is a marathon, it's not a sprint. It takes a long time to build a successful company. And you kind of need to have the resilience and the strength to go through that and deliver on whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish. So anyway, whatever we do, your starting point for the resources are at 1mby1m.com. What you're going to find there, first and foremost, you will find our blog, which is a free resource, and it is chock full of material. So all the stuff that we're discussing, the Tableau software case study, the article, everything is available freely on the blog. And then there are Entrepreneur Journeys. The Entrepreneur Journeys book series starts to take some of our case studies from the blog and synthesize them by certain topics, organized by certain topics. So like we have a volume on bootstrapping, which is a key methodology element of the 1M, 1M program. Positioning. We don't believe you can do anything meaningful without sharp positioning. So as I was working with Kishore today, one thing is obvious to me, that this company is not positioned. So we're going to need to position it, and Kishore is going to need to learn how to position a company. And we will help him, but he will need to learn this piece. Otherwise, this company is not going to go very far. We have a volume on women entrepreneurs. It's called Feminine Feminism. We have a volume on Indian entrepreneurs and what's happening in the seed capital system in India. We have a volume on bootstrapping product companies using services. So we have a whole, you know, bunch of different topics that we cover in book format, and we synthesize certain areas of what we do in these pieces. And everything is available on Kindle. The first 4 are available on Amazon as physical books as well. If you go to the website, there's all sorts of videos that are video FAQs essentially that will help you learn more about the program and answer your questions. These roundtables, the free sessions, happen every week. We have done over 200. This is our 215th roundtable, so it's been going on for a while. I think at this point probably 2,500 people have attended. 25,000 people have attended the sessions, and we've coached thousands of entrepreneurs. You can register to pitch or to attend on the website. The premium program offers extensive methodology guidance. We offer you a curriculum. We help you with business development, you know, introductions to customers, channel partners, whatever makes sense. We help you with strategy consulting, similar format, but we have a private members-only you know, series of roundtables where we do the consulting. You could call it consulting, coaching, mentoring, whatever, but it's the interactive input and discussion. We help you with financing. If and when you're financeable, we will introduce you to investors. And we also help you with getting coverage in the media. You can find on the Million Dollar Club link on the website, you will find our success stories. You'll find an ROI analysis of the program also on the home page. And we offer $375,000 worth of value plus 5 to 10% equity. All that just for a $1,000 annual membership fee. We do not charge any equity, and we obviously charge only a $1,000 annual membership fee for unlimited usage of this program. It's an extremely high value program, and those who are using it properly are getting tremendous value out of it. And we will give you orientation material on how to use the program effectively. Self-assessment is something that's available on the blog. You can, on the site, you can go put yourself through that to get some idea about what kinds of questions you should be asking and how that, how well you're able to answer those questions. If you're in the premium program, we also furnish the roundtable, the curriculum modules alongside the questions so that you can fill your knowledge gaps in each of those areas. So the premium program, there's tons of material on the site to understand what can you expect from the premium program, video FAQs and so forth. The way we teach the curriculum is in case studies and video lectures. We've been developing case studies since 2006. Over 600 very successful entrepreneurs, and including people like Christian Chabot, who has gone on to build a billion-dollar company, and there are many of those in our case study roster, have been with us on this series talking about what they have learned in their journeys, especially in the early stages. And so in a way, you could say that this program is being taught by over 600 entrepreneurs, and every year we're bringing on another 100 plus entrepreneurs to share what they have learned and what they have to teach you. What we've done is we've stitched all this up into a curriculum that is organized in core and electives, and we offer you video lectures and then the case studies themselves so that you can efficiently and very actionably learn what you need to learn about building a company. So the core curriculum has 7 modules: bootstrapping, positioning, market sizing, customer validation, financing, customer acquisition, and team building. Electives: Web 3.0 and e-commerce, cloud computing and business solutions, outsourcing and consulting, mobile and social apps, healthcare, IT, online education, and gaming. These are the modules within the elective. You can access any of them. Once you're a member of the program, you can access any of them. Our methodology is lean, capital efficient, bootstrap startups. We recognize the fact that there are problems with what we call fat startups. There have been a lot of fat startups that have been built in the industry. Next week, in fact, we're going to discuss the issue of fat startups in the context of another unicorn company called FireEye, and the article is already out. You will have a chance to look at it before that discussion. But fat startups are very difficult to finance these days. So generally, most of the financing that happens in the industry is with the lean startup business model. Then we have, as I said, we do a lot of work in the media. And so folks, those of you who are typing in questions, please keep doing that. I will, as soon as I finish this segment, I will come back and take your questions. And please do not send me questions privately. Put the questions in the public chat. So send to all participants and put your questions in public chat. I will not be answering private questions. This is a public discussion. So on the coverage of premium members, if you go to the press page, you will find this link. And what we do is we use our clout in the media to get our members access to media channels through which they can generate what we call social proof. Media coverage gives you the ability to tell your customers, look, there are people writing about us, there are people talking about us, so you can feel we are legitimate. You can buy from us. You can see what they're saying. That kind of stuff is very helpful. And then people read about you and call you and so forth. Inbound leads start coming in. So media coverage is an incredibly important piece of building companies. That's why we offer that as part of our offering in the program. We also let you use our social media channels, all of them, Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook, to circulate your messages. We have very big presence in social media, and including our blog, and we again get you coverage, get you you know, the ability to get your message out there. We have an affiliate program, and if you're doing something that is synergistic with 1M1M, and if you want to partner with us, you are very welcome to look at the affiliate program. We have free roundtables every week, pretty much, in May and June. And then the last thing I would say on the book side is we do have an ideation book, Vision India 2020, which has $45 billion business ideas, and you're welcome to take any of those and steal, morph, you know, use it to generate your own ideas, whatever. I use a technique called visioning, which is a very powerful technique for generating ideas. You're welcome to look at that. The 1M1M Incubator in a Box is a platform product that we have that a lot of companies are using to start their own incubators. So we are working with Oracle, SAP, Nokia, and so forth to power their incubation infrastructures for intrapreneurship and or ecosystem development. So the SAP HANA ecosystem, the Nokia Lumia ecosystem are using 1M1M to incubate their communities. Oracle is using us for intrapreneurship development, so on and so forth. Again, if you are in a synergistic position and would like to use the 1M1M Incubator in a Box, you can. These are just the books that I discussed earlier, and we are back to Q&A. So let me see what's in the public chat, and you're also welcome to call in if you'd like to discuss anything. Gary Chapman says, my company is positioned as B2B2C. Local retailers are my main target and brand ambassadors. I'm focused on the consumer. I'm in the same-day delivery space using a franchise growth strategy. Am I correctly stating my position? Could be. Could be. I need to look at it a little bit more, but more or less I understand what you're trying to do. So you're trying to enable local retailers to deliver, to be able to do same-day delivery, right? So you've discussed you've described your value proposition relatively cleanly, so I had no difficulty understanding it. At least the value proposition, or your elevator pitch, as we call it, seems fine. Now, somebody is on the call. Could you please identify yourself? Is there anybody on the call? We see you as a caller, but we can't identify you until you tell us who it is. All right. Well, if not, that's fine. Abhijit Mundal is asking, and Abhijit, you're sending me a private chat. Please don't do that. I'm going to read out what you sent me. I'm looking to create my M Healthcare venture. I'm an NIT, a techie, but networking to have a techie co-founder on board. Oh, I'm not a techie, but networking to have a techie co-founder on board. But in the meantime, I want to create my MVP. Please suggest how should I do? Well, you can create your MVP by outsourcing it to somebody who knows how to develop software. Anybody else? Any other questions, comments? Anybody wants to call in and discuss anything? There are a ton of people in the room. Folks, these sessions are not as exciting, neither as fun, unless you participate and tell us what's going on in your businesses. Please introduce yourself. It's also a networking session. See how Abhijit is looking for a co-founder and other people are looking for other kinds of business possibilities. So if you introduce yourselves and tell us where you're dialing from, what are you looking for, what are you working on, that's also an opportunity to network. We always like to hear who you are. No? Jolly Joe says, I didn't have a tech co-founder, I completely outsourced the web development. And did that work out well for you, Jolly? Outsourced web development is a very outsourced web development or outsourced mobile app development. All of those are working for those who know how to manage that, or those who can manage that process. It's working fine. For a lot of people, it's working fine. And then in some cases, it's a disaster if you are not able to explain to your outsourcing partner what is it that you're looking for. It can be an absolute disaster. People cannot read your mind, remember. If you're trying to envision a product, you need to outsource the development. You're going to need to be very clear about what is it that you're looking for, what is it that you want them to develop. And if you cannot communicate that clearly, it will be very hard to get them to deliver. It takes longer, though. No, not necessarily. It really depends on how well you manage the process. It can take longer. If you don't know how to manage the process, it will take longer. But if you can be very clear about what is it that you're looking for, then you can. Rajiv Gupta says, with tech outsourcing, how does one stay in control of what has been developed? I mean, all the codes, etc., as the tech guys call them. So that is one of the disadvantages of having outsourced development, is that the outsourcer makes those decisions, the technical decisions, and develops the code and so forth. You can, obviously the source code you own, but if you're not technical, you're not going to be able to do very much with the source code. Doug May says, I have a product suite in the collaboration space that I want to develop. How do I start to learn the current state of venture interest in this topic and find mentors to help me pick the right place to start? Doug, this may sound completely self-serving, but this is why we are doing the program. So my recommendation is join the 1M1M program, and we will step you through the entire process. This is why we do 1M1M, so that people who are doing this for the first time can learn how to put one foot before the other. Anybody else? Any other questions, comments? Kishore, are you still on the call?
Yes.
Did you have anything else that you wanted to ask?
Yeah. You told we need to work on positioning. How do you code about it? What exactly to do? All the content will be available in
same answer. Join the program, and we will step you through step by step. Absolutely. Rajiv is asking, does the 1M1M program take care of only one idea, or can we try and validate more than one? You can try and validate as many as you like, and choose the one that has the maximum potential and execute on it. The program is to teach you how to do all this process. You can do whatever you want with it. We have lots of entrepreneurs who are toying with multiple ideas and use the methodology to figure out which one to zero in on. We're very flexible about all that. And we recognize that when you're starting out, you may not be completely sure about which idea to execute on, but we would like you to do that rapidly, that process of filtering through the ideas and validating and invalidating, and then zeroing in on the one that has the maximum legs. Anybody else? Questions, comments? Anybody? Rajiv Gupta, and will the program also support the tech part? We are not a software developer, so this is a program that will teach you how to build your business, but we are not an outsourced development company, so we are not going to develop your product. I don't know what your question is exactly. So if you elaborate on the question, I can answer further. You mean guide who and how to get stuff done from? I mean validate companies who offer outsourced services? No, we do not do vendor recommendations. There are actually many outsourcers in the program, people who do outsource development work from, from various different destinations, but we do not recommend vendors. You have to use, my suggestion would be use Odesk or Elance, one of the services exchanges, to see developers who have good references and find one that can do what you need to be done. Gary Chapman says, one of my strategic partners had a successful exit in a major company you mentioned seconds ago. I want to use their experience on my board management team. I'm waiting for our first signed customer to close to request their help for discussion. I need a strong team to start the first round of funding. I think this is an opportunity. Are we going about this correctly? It takes time to build a customer base. Yes, everything that you've said has many layers of subtext in it, right? You're assuming that this is a company that is fundable. We don't know that. And you're going to need to learn how to diagnose. We provide you that full diagnosis of whether your company is fundable as you're envisioning it or not, and have all the mechanics of funding put in place. As far as team is concerned, if your company is fundable, that's great. You can recruit a team and go out to raise funding. But if your company is not fundable, then you're going to have to bootstrap, and then I would recommend not getting a large expensive team, because expensive teams have to be paid unless they're going to be willing to work for equity. So there's lots of decisions in there. You're jumping to a lot of conclusions which I'm not there with you at, and you shouldn't be either. The lean startup methodology does not want you to invest a lot of money in hiring expensive people upfront. Rajiv Gupta, but with so many developers on these platforms from India, the experiences these days are bad. So can you make a checklist and guide as to how to get the tech development done? We do have that in the curriculum as far as hiring developers. That exists, and you can ask questions. So as you are vetting developers, you can actually ask questions and get help from us in figuring out whether you're going in the right direction or not. That's something we can help you with. The process we can help you with. Anybody else? That solves the idea that tech is not a monster. Tech is not a monster, actually. These days, unless you're doing something very, very complex, like a machine learning algorithm or something, a lot of the, web technologies or mobile app technologies, these are fairly simple stuff. And they're getting simpler by the day with all these DIY tools. So it's really not a monster. If you're doing something highly technical, then you need to do it with a technical team, and in that case, you need technical co-founders. And we do have a lot of companies that come out of the DNA of technical, technology is their DNA. They're trying to build technology companies, and it's a different type of company. But if you're trying to, do something that is more a business concept, and you just need a relatively simple website done or mobile app done, that's not difficult to get done on an outsource mode. And in fact, I would say that's actually one of the best things to do, is to get an MVP done and test and validate, instead of just going in and spending a lot of money on something that you don't have any idea whether it's going to work or not. Anybody else? MVP is minimum viable product. See, what we teach in the 1M1M curriculum is almost like a very compressed, very practical, pragmatic mini MBA focused on technology entrepreneurship for the very early stage. And that is not available anywhere else in the world. We have lots of entrepreneurs in the program who say that 1M1M is much more useful to them than what they've learned in their MBA, because MBA programs don't teach what we teach, which is an early stage technology startup development process, technology or technology enabled services. Okay, I don't see any more questions, in which case we're going to wrap up, and we'll be back here next week. Any of you need a slot to pitch or discuss, or we could just do it this way, if come back with your questions. I'm happy to, take whatever questions you need to get clarity on in this mode as well. And we will see you back here next week. Bye, everybody.